Hello everybody, it's Dave from Your Arachnids. Welcome to my 700th upload. That's kind of crazy. Yeah, I wish the videos would do a little bit better than what they're doing, but we are going to do the 700th video on the Harpactira pulchripes. I have 5 of these guys. I remember when they first came out, I think they gained traction about 5 or 6 years ago, and they were roughly about $125 to $150 a sling. Now they're so popular, they've been bred so many times, you can get them for about $60 to $75 a sling. They're still expensive. They're not a cheap sling, and they're just a great species. That's why. I've not paired. I've paired, but not successfully. I have 5 total. I have 2 males and 3 females. This is the smallest female that I have right now. We'll see if she's possibly interested in eating a mealworm. You could see the general cage setup for them is, you give them about halfway of substrate, give them some stuff to web on and something to hide underneath, and this is generally what they do. They'll hide in cork bark or aquarium decor if you give it to them. This one here I think is getting close to molting. I'm not quite certain I would say she's in pre-molt yet, but I would say soon. See if that'll entice her out. There she comes. There you go. They're just absolutely wonderful. You could see the blue hues on the legs. Let's zoom in on her a little bit. Maybe. There we go. Oh, it's not helping any, huh? There we go. Sorry if there's any discoloration in that clip there. She's just an absolute doll. They all are. They're very, very placid for baboon species. They will give you threat postures. But if anybody asks me, what would you recommend for a first old world species? This is definitely in the top 2 or 3. Generally, people will say this, Radijar starlingi. I say Chelobrachys fimbriatus. And there's a couple other ones too that people will say. But these are just absolutely wonderful. You get that blue, you get the the golden starburst pattern on the carapace there. As you can see, she comes out a little bit more, and you got the orange. Now they do dull to a little bit more of a golden as they get older. We're not focusing here, and this is about their general behavior. You can see she is getting a little bit pre-molty, so maybe this will probably be her last meal before she molts. But we're going to bring the 2 males out first because they're basically similar in size to her, and the 2 females, the large females that are both mature, are kind of hiding. So I'm hoping that they will come out when we go to feed them. Okay, so next up is going to be the smallest male that I have. He's the most skittish. We'll see if he'll take the meal. See, there you go. There's the threat posture. I don't get this very often, but this one seems to be the one that does offer that quite frequently. Well, I don't want to say quite frequently because it isn't frequently. It's more frequent than the others, though. Let's see. We'll try and look. You got a worm right here. Sure you don't want to eat the worm? Or would you rather just pose a threat? Or threat pose, I should say. I guess I'm the threat that's being posed. There you go. See, it's just a worm. Generally, don't worry about these guys not eating. They eat pretty much every time that you feed them. Again, this is a species you could feed weekly. I wouldn't feed them more than weekly. That's generally what I try to stay with, but I am feeding these 2 males just a little bit more often because I want, at least in the other one that you'll see is a little bit bigger to molt, because I think that he may mature in the next molt and we'll be able to pair him with my females. That would be absolutely wonderful. Again, I apologize for the shakiness, but there's nothing I can do about that. My tripod's broken, and those of you that watch the channel for years knows about my neuromuscular issue, which makes me kind of shake. So that's the first male. Let's get the second male out. Okay, so this is the larger of the two males. This one I got from Amy at Fang Hub as a confirmed male, and I did confirm it with its molt. Very aggressive eater, this one. When I first got it, it was the shyest out of the 5. Well, maybe not the shyest, the second shyest out of the 5. But again, you can see that just beautiful orange and blue. And these two males molted just over a month and a half to 2 months ago, so they've been eating well. I'm not giving them oversized prey. Matter of fact, these are probably the biggest meals they've had, these larger mealworms that they're getting right now. I try to stay with my feeders the size of their carapace if possible, but generally with my baboon species, I try to feed a little bit smaller because I feed them more often. If that makes sense to anybody. It's the same as, you know, if you hear people saying, oh, my Grammostola rosea has been on a hunger strike for 6 months, and then you look at the spider and it looks like they fed it every day for 2 months straight. If you don't do that, if you space your feedings out just a little bit more, you're more likely to actually get them to feed and you'll be able to see it because they haven't eaten in a little while. So you're not starving them by no means. As you can see, he's not a skinny tarantula. He's about the size of what a baboon should look like. Just a little bit thinner abdomen than their carapace helps them move quicker and get into the places that they need to get into. You know, he lives inside here every so often. You'll see him in there. But I bet you after today, after he eats this worm, he'll probably crawl in there and just stay for a day or two. But these species are usually out on display. And then we'll contradict that here in a minute with my 2 females. But he's just wonderful. Very placid. Hasn't been, you know, he's not a jumpy spider. He's not running around. Just a great overall tarantula keep. Again, and the whole entire species of these, you know, I've not had one that's been a pain yet. I've had 7 of them. The first one I got, I sent to a friend because I didn't really have the capacity to breed at that point in time, and I wanted her to be paired. And I believe she's paired her twice and have 2 successful egg sacs with her. And then I sent out a mature male to a friend about 4.5 years ago, which didn't work out. So yeah, let's get the bigger females out and see if we can coax them out to eat a big superworm. Okay, so this is the smaller of the 2 adult females. I think she's about 4 3/4 of an inch. She's the shyest one that I have. She went through her molt, was out all the time for about 2 weeks, and now she's back inside underneath this piece of driftwood inside here. You can see her enclosure is pretty webbed up. I think she's done more webbing. No, the next one, I think the older female probably has more webbing in her enclosure, but she's been in there for so long. But we're going to drop a worm down in there and see if we can't get her to come out, because she molted, I don't know, about 4 weeks ago, and I think she's only eaten once. So let's see. I'm not, like I said, I'm not guaranteeing she's going to come out at all, but she very rarely eats on camera or in front of me. She seems to just, we'll just throw it in there. I pay attention to the worm for a little bit, make sure it can't dig down or, you know, a roach or whatever it is that I'm giving her. And then she'll come and get it at her leisure. I can already tell she's not going to come out. She's not moving inside there whatsoever. I always hate when you have tarantulas that, you know, they molt, and they're generally good eaters. We're going to move that worm. Yeah, tangle it up a little bit more. They're generally good eaters, and then they molt, and then they eat once, and then you don't see them eat for a long time again. That, it always worries you that there's something wrong, you know, I mean, because you can't tell what's happened internally to a tarantula when they molt. You know, there could be an issue that happened inside there and you just don't know it, and you could have a spider that molted and just dies like 2 months later, and you sit back and say, well, we couldn't get it to eat, we couldn't get it to do anything. I check all my molts now for the molting of the sucking stomach to make sure that that happens. So anything that you see in my collection that's molted, they have molted okay as far as, you know, visually what you can see. I don't think she's going to come out. If she does, well, maybe she is. There, she got a little bit of movement going on there. I see some legs moving. Maybe we'll hang in there a little bit. Yeah, she's moving out. That's good. I was worried because the last 2 times I fed her, she didn't eat it all. Sometimes you'll see them like come out and just strike at the prey to just, you know, they just want it gone. So they're trying to deter it, but I think she's coming out to eat it. Yeah, she is. There you go. Grab it. Grab it. There you go. Take it home. Messes up her webbing, but she's the one that did it, not me. So yeah, this one is breedable. She's at the size, and our spermatheca was sclerotized more than enough to pair her. Now we're going to see if the big female will come out. I've had her probably the longest, about 5 years, somewhere in that area. This one I've had for I think 2. I got her from a friend, and I sent him, I can't remember what I sent him. Ornithoctinae oreotibialis female. So, you know, I wasn't huge into the Asian species, although I like them. I was more into the baboons, and he was more into those, so we kind of just did a swap. So let's get the largest one out, and hopefully she'll come out and say hi. Okay, take 185 on the last tarantula of the Harpactira pulchripes. So I'm struggling getting anything from this girl. She won't come out. I'm not going to force her to come out. This is her tunnel. This is it's a full log. It's open on both sides. This is a fish aquarium thing I probably got at PetSmart, one of their buy one get one 50% off deals or something like that. She's had it for years. It was in her old enclosure, which was a mini football helmet display case. Now she's moved up to her permanent home. This is a basketball or soccer ball display case. This is a great size enclosure for spiders that are anywhere from 4-inch to probably 7 inches, which they'll be great for. And this is what I'm going to have all my female baboon species in these. I just think it's easier for me to work with them in these, and they're attractive. They're not super expensive. If you wait till Hobby Lobby has them, every other week it seems like they have these display cases for 50% off. So you could buy 2 of these for $34. I challenge you to buy anything similar to that for $34 for 2. I know there's a bunch of places out there that make some great enclosures, with these nice latches and, the different ventilation. But if you have a drill and you can make some holes, you can't go wrong for $17.50 or $17 for, one of these things. You're not going to touch an enclosure like this size at any of those places for less than $120, So I really love the Hobby Lobby stuff. It works great for you can see it works great for pretty much everything that I have. I use them in a lot, and most of my mature females, of course the baboons are in here. I just put my Ecampistratus and my Grammostola pulchripes into 2 that I had open, because I don't have any other baboon females ready to go in to any of these. So again, they have those sales like every other week. But back to the spider, you can see she's just webbed the crap out of this over the last 4 years or so that she's been in here. This is her water spot, so we'll water. Big pool of water right there. She'll come and drink it every now and then, but she seems to rather drink off the sides of the enclosure. You could see her. This is what she does with every water dish I put in there. Doesn't matter what I put in, deep one, shallow one, bigger one, smaller one, she webs it up within a day of me being in there. I just don't want to fight with her anymore about it, because it's not worth it. She apparently doesn't want it in there. She doesn't want that standing water to be there, so why fight them? And that's what I do with all my spiders. If they start webbing up or dirting over water dishes, I just stop giving it to them, and they'll get their moisture from their feeders, or I'll spray the enclosure. Make sure that the dirt is damp, and they'll be able to drink water off the sides, especially these dry arid species like these guys that come from South Africa. They are dry scrub brush kind of tarantula. You could use cocoa fiber, which, this is more of a mixture. There's a little bit of, I got a desert mix in here with some sand. And then this is actually what's it called now? It's not Forest Blend, it's the other Jungle Mix. But these you could use like that arid desert mix. Basically, it's more of a rocky texture, and it's got like a tannish look. I've used them for my my Chalcodes. They seem to love it. So yeah, you could use a different base. I'm just not a big fan of straight EcoWorth. You know, of course, when I first started, everybody used it, but I've had more problems with fungus and mold with EcoWorth than I've had with anything else. So you know, I generally stay away from it. I like to try, and I'm not replicating the soil that they're in, because you can't. You know, because I don't know what the soil is actually like in South Africa there. But I keep wanting to say South America, but South Africa. But yeah, this is what you're going to get from this species. And the longer that they're in there, the more webbing that they'll do. You know, they're basically tying everything down. There's a piece of spider wood there. But she's got one entrance. She goes in there and she comes out there. The other side of that log is completely sealed. She completely webbed it in, and she brought dirt and just packed it inside there. So that's her safe haven. I'm sorry you guys don't get to see her. So hopefully, you know, in a video down the road, we'll be able to get her in there. I keep moving the enclosure back and forth here. As you can see, we're on my table with the vast majority of Tom Patterson stickers. I think I have every sticker that he's made so far is on this table, and we're not focusing. And then, of course, Fang Hub, and there's all kinds of other ones. There's Tarantula Channy. Been a long time fan of the group, and she's just a wonderful person. Anyway, yeah, so that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you learned a little bit about how, you know, they're kept, and you know, how I keep them. It doesn't differ at all from other people. Tom Moran's got some videos on these that are pretty similar, you know, with the information. They like to stay out more than they go down inside stuff, but they will hide in cork bark tubes or logs like this, or, you know, a pre-made burrow. If you do it, they don't dig. They're not obligate burrowers. They're not made for digging. They just don't really dig. They're opportunistic burrowers, so they find something that's already made and make use of it, and then they take it over, and that's their home. So we're going to do a video on that soon, the difference between opportunistic and obligate burrowers, so that you'll get a better understanding of, you know, those two terms. And we're going to try and do some videos of other terminology too, like semi-arboreal. One of the worst, my most hated words in the hobby is semi-arboreal, especially because it keeps being attached to a GBB. But anyway, we're going to start doing some stuff like that, and we're going to delve into that stuff in my new group on Facebook, Tarantulas 101. So if you'd like to join, just look it up and hit the join, and we'll get you in there. And we'll see everybody in the next video, which will be number 701. This was my 700th upload. I think I started this in probably 2014, maybe 2015, so maybe 8 years. So almost 100 videos a year average. I know I went through a crazy period where I was putting stuff out like March Madness, 1 or 2 or 3 videos a day there, a handful of years back. But yeah, so if you enjoy the channel and, you know, you find it useful, please recommend it to some people and say, hey, go check them out. YouTube's not doing me any favors, you know, as far as getting me in the algorithm. I just don't have enough people watching the videos to get into recommendations. So the only way I can do that is if other people send recommendations out. But I'm going to start putting these, you know, links to videos on my group, maybe some other groups, and hopefully we'll drum up some interest, try to get to that 5,000 subscriber mark. I doubt I'll do it this year, but if I did, that would be great. Yeah, and we'll see everybody soon. Probably try and do a video real quick. My birthday is the 25th, so maybe I'll do one and upload it that day. See what I got to do. I don't know what we'll do it on, but I'll probably Sericopelma, one of my favorite New World genuses that are out there. That's another word too, genuses genera. I always thought it was just genera, but I found out that genuses is also an acceptable word. So you learn stuff new every day in this hobby. Even people that have been in it for a while, you know. I mean, I learned stuff, you know, I just learned that just not that long ago. And I was surprised because I'm like, I don't think that's right. But, you know, I did some more research on it, and that person was actually right. So, again, we'll see you guys all soon, and happy mid-July.
Hope you guys have a great rest of your summer, and we'll see you all soon.